All right, so today we're diving into Frankenstein,
Okay.
Chapter 9.
Oh, yeah.
And this is one that you sent to us.
hmm
And we're going to be exploring Victor Frankenstein's mental and emotional state after the deaths of William and Justine.
Yeah, so it's about 2 months after Justine's execution, and Victor is just wrestling with so many emotions. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not just grieving, you know? It's also the knowledge that his creation is responsible.
Right.
And the fear of what this creation might do next.
Like he's living in a nightmare he can't wake up from.
Exactly.
The chapter starts with him describing this feeling of dead calmness and
Right.
how painful it is to be stuck between hope and fear.
That really stood out to me.
Yeah.
Shelley's description of Victor's mental state as a hell of intense tortures.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, the language is so powerful, right? She's
Yeah.
conveying this just unbearable weight of his guilt.
Right.
I mean, it's like a living hell where he's both the torturer and the tortured.
Yeah, and then his father
Yeah.
tries to comfort him, encouraging him to, find strength and purpose for the sake of the family. But it's almost like those words just bounce right off of him.
Absolutely.
His internal turmoil is just too deep.
That's such a relatable experience, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Like, even the most well-intentioned advice can't always penetrate
Right.
the depths of our emotional pain.
Yeah, and we see this disconnect
Yeah.
between Victor's internal struggle and then everyone around him trying to understand.
Yeah, they want to help.
Yeah, they want to help, but they just can't.
They don't know what he's going through.
I don't know what he's going through.
And they can't really
Yeah,
give him the right advice.
He ends up retreating to their house at Bellerive.
Yeah.
And he's spending hours alone on the lake at night.
Oh, wow.
It's interesting because on one hand, he seems to find a bit of solace and the beauty of nature. But on the other hand, he's also drawn to the idea of ending his suffering by drowning himself.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
It's this real push and pull.
It's like this romantic ideal of nature as a healing force, right? But at the same time, this darkness is consuming him.
Yeah.
It's like, which one's gonna win?
Yeah. Will he find a path toward healing, or will he succumb to this weight of his guilt?
And he describes himself as the only unquiet thing
Yes.
in this beautiful and peaceful setting.
It's a great line.
Yeah, and then there's this like glimmer of hope, though.
Yeah, what is it?
This thing that holds him back.
Yeah.
It's his love for his family,
Right.
especially Elizabeth,
Okay.
and the responsibility he feels toward them.
Okay.
He's not just tormented by what's happened,
Right.
but he's terrified of what his creation might do next.
Oh, yeah.
The potential danger to his loved ones.
He's shouldering this enormous burden,
He
this
is
dark secret,
all alone.
all alone.
And that fear, coupled with the guilt, it fuels this intense hatred and desire for revenge against the monster.
So he wants to extinguish that life.
Yeah, gnashing his teeth, eyes in flame.
Those are some seriously intense descriptions.
Yeah,
You can just feel the raw, untamed energy of his emotions.
Right.
But while all this is going on inside Victor, we also see his family,
Yeah.
especially Elizabeth,
Mm-hmm.
deeply affected by these tragedies.
Right. They're going through it too.
They are.
And while Victor's wrestling with his internal demons, Elizabeth's openly grieving Justine's death.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because she reveals how her entire worldview has been shattered
Yeah.
by what's happened.
There's this powerful moment where she says,
What is it?
"Before I looked upon the accounts of vice and injustice as tales of ancient days, but now misery has come home, and men appear to me as monsters thirsting for each other's blood."
Wow.
It's like she's lost her innocence.
Yeah.
And now she sees the world through this much darker lens.
She does. She's completely disillusioned by the darkness she's witnessed.
Right.
And you get a sense of this fear of the unseen, these monsters lurking in the shadows.
And you see how she tries to comfort Victor,
Yeah.
but he just can't find any peace.
He's so deep in it.
He says, "Thus not the tenderness of friendship, nor the beauty of earth, nor of heaven could redeem my soul from woe."
His despair is just so profound.
It is.
It's like even love, the beauty of nature, even faith can't reach him.
Wow.
That really resonates with the modern experience of depression or anxiety.
Yeah.
Sometimes even with love and support.
Right.
The pain can feel so overwhelming.
So desperate for some relief, he decides to travel to Chamounix.
Oh.
He seems to be drawn to the grandeur of the Alps,
Yeah.
hoping to find a moment of respite in these majestic landscapes.
He's searching for something that can lift him out of himself.
Yeah.
And the sublime beauty of the Alps, it offers this glimmer of hope.
I love that.
It's almost as if he's drawn to this vastness, this power beyond human comprehension.
Right.
Hoping to find some sense of perspective.
Yeah.
In the face of his own suffering. You know those descriptions of the scenery?
Yeah.
They're so vivid.
They really are.
Immense mountains and precipices, the sound of the river raging among the rocks, the dashing of the waterfalls.
Wow.
It's a landscape that just speaks to this power far greater than himself.
Right.
And he does experience moments of relief for a brief time.
Yeah.
He talks about how the tingling, long-lost sense of pleasure washes over him, reminds him of his youth.
Yeah, but those moments are fleeting.
They are.
He keeps getting pulled back in.
Right back into that misery of reflection. Like, no matter how hard he tries, he can't escape the consequences.
He can't.
The Alps offer a temporary escape,
Yeah.
but the shadows of his past, they're always lurking.
It's like this constant back and forth
It is.
between seeking solace and being dragged back into despair.
Exactly. And it mirrors the
Yeah.
cyclical nature of grief and trauma.
Yeah.
Even when we find those moments of peace, the darkness can still linger.
Absolutely. But it's interesting to me that even in his darkest moments, he never loses sight of this deep connection to nature.
I was thinking about that too.
He calls it maternal nature,
Yeah.
offering him comfort.
It's like he's seeking a mother's love.
Yeah. Urging him to weep no more.
And protection.
Yeah.
There's a real tenderness in that imagery.
There is.
And it speaks to that enduring power of nature to offer solace.
Right.
Even when everything else feels lost.
And I'm struck by how even when he describes himself as weighed down by horror and despair,
Yeah.
he's still drawn to the mountains, the glaciers, the rushing river.
He keeps going back.
He keeps going back.
It's like a baptism.
Yeah.
A cleansing.
Yeah, he's searching for something.
In the face of all the darkness he carries.
And speaking of vastness,
Okay.
he finally arrives at the village of Chamounix,
Yeah.
completely drained, both physically and mentally.
He's at his lowest point.
He's at his lowest point.
But then he's sitting at his window,
Yeah.
watching the lightning above Mont Blanc, listening to the river. And there's a shift.
Okay, what happens?
He finds a moment of true peace.
Really?
The sounds of nature lull him into sleep.
Oh, wow.
And he actually blesses the giver of oblivion.
He's letting go.
It's a small victory, but it's significant.
It is.
He's giving himself permission to rest.
Yeah.
And that's so important.
It is.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times,
Yeah.
rest and renewal are possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best thing we can do is surrender to the present moment.
Right.
And allow ourselves to be taken care of.
He's allowing himself to be held by something larger than himself.
Exactly.
And finding a moment of peace amidst the chaos.
But of course, the monster's shadow still looms.
It always does.
Will he be able to hold on to this newfound peace?
That's the question.
Or will the darkness pull him back under?
Right. We'll have to see.
That's the question that lingers as we move forward.
It is.
But for now,
yeah.
let's appreciate this small glimmer of hope.
Yeah, it really feels like he's standing at a crossroads here.
Yeah, one path leading towards healing and the other...
back into the darkness.
Right, back into it.
Do you think he'll be able to hold on to this sense of peace?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? We see this struggle throughout the book, this battle between hope and despair, light and darkness.
Yeah.
And it's a battle that's still so relevant today.
It really is.
But, you know, if we take a step back for a second and think about the bigger picture of this chapter.
Yeah, what do we see?
Chapter 9 is this really raw and powerful exploration of the human condition.
It is.
Shelley doesn't shy away from the complexities of grief and guilt.
Right.
And this desperate search for solace in the face of unimaginable suffering.
And it's what makes Victor such a relatable character.
Right.
Even in his most monstrous moments.
It's those very human elements
Yeah.
that make the story so timeless and thought-provoking.
Yeah.
We see the power of nature, right? To both soothe and terrify. The crushing weight of responsibility.
Yeah.
And that struggle to find peace when you're haunted by guilt and fear.
It's incredible how she connects Victor's internal turmoil
Yeah.
to these anxieties of her own time.
Absolutely.
You know, Elizabeth's fear of the monsters lurking in the world It reflects this broader societal unease.
That was so real in the 19th century.
That fear of the unknown, the potential for violence and injustice, the fragility of happiness.
These are anxieties that we still grapple with today.
Yeah, they're not unique to Victor or to the world of the novel.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, where do we go from here?
It does.
Where do we as individuals and as a society
Mm-hmm.
seek solace and strength when we're faced with darkness?
Victor finds it in the grandeur of the Alps.
Yeah.
But where do you turn when you need to find a sense of perspective, a moment of respite?
That's such a powerful question,
It is.
and one that I think each listener can reflect on personally.
Yeah.
As we continue our journey through Frankenstein's,
Mm-hmm.
it's a story that challenges us to confront our own monsters,
Yep.
to grapple with the consequences of our choices.
And to search for those sources of strength and solace that can help us navigate the darkness.
Beautifully said.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Chapter 9.
Yeah.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface
Oh, yeah. There's so much more to explore.
of the rich themes and ideas that Shelley presents.
It's a chapter that definitely stays with you
It does.
long after you finish reading it.
And I hope our conversation has maybe sparked some new insights for you.
Yeah.
Or even inspired you to explore the depths of Frankenstein a little further.
Absolutely.
Always remember, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Yes.
and keep connecting these powerful stories to your own life.
I love that.
Thanks for listening. Until next time.
See ya.